live. If you've not tuned in on the live and you're catching up, just having a coffee, not really sure what this live's going to involve, but any questions that come in, I'll be sure to try my best to answer them. But apart from that, just a bit of yibbity yabbada, bit of jibbida jabbida, and we'll just see where the live goes. Just finished editing some new movies, so I thought I'd take a break, stand up in the conservatory and have a little look at the koi. So hopefully we get a few people join in today, come and say hello. Obviously I do appreciate a lot of viewers at work at the moment, but you never know who's home. So if there is anyone on the live, don't be shy to say hello, and if you have got any questions, add a few questions if you like. Hello the Koi Pit, how you doing? When you next due in the UK? Gaza, hello mate. Been between jobs, so caught you for 10 minutes. Happy days. Part of the reason why I've just come on live, just having a little bit of a break, to be fair with you. Off the computer, sat down for 4 or 5 hours editing the next movie that's due, or video that's due to come out. Got the spuds, have you? Proper job. Just on live at the moment. Right, yeah, chuck them in the kitchen. Just had a delivery of some potatoes to go with the cottage pie for later on. Gotta love a cottage pie on a Wednesday. Put the camera up a bit, sorry for moving the camera slightly, just adjusting the camera for you. Fish look mint, brother. Thank you very much, Gaz. Gaza. Quite nice just to chill and watch them for a little bit instead of being out there filming them constantly or making videos. Surprising how long it takes to make the videos when you put them together. When you're doing a normal job and you just crack on with it, but when you're filming something, surprising how much longer it takes to do something. Especially if you get your words mixed up, what you're trying to say, or to make it watchable, if that makes sense. But I'm just flicking in a few little pellets today, nothing major. Just picking out individual fish, basically making them swim. Yeah, if anyone asks for any questions or anything that they want to put in the comment section, feel free to chuck it in, and it can be anything really, koi related, life related. I'm always interested to see who's flicking around on YouTube at lunchtimes or just after lunchtime. Koi Evan, Mr. Whisperer, how you doing, mate? Yeah, just chilling with a coffee, to be honest, mate. Just having a little bit of a break from the old computer, and I thought it's always nice to have a bit of a koi chat with everyone that's in the hobby. Humber koi. That's the hammer. Sure is the hammer. Koi put. Aaron, what's up, my dude? Koi Evan, I'm stuck in the services. Had a blowout on the trailer. Oh, nightmare. Hope you didn't have no fish on board. Humber koi, he's in the pub reading the paper, watching YouTube. Not much reading going on there when you got YouTube going on. But fair play. Were you there having a nice pint or just chilling, having some lunch? So what's Darren, have you got to wait for someone to bring you a tyre out to you, or are you waiting for the AA? How's your other pond getting on? Yeah, it's going well, mate, to be fair. The only reason I haven't got the camera on it, because of the Wi-Fi, sometimes it's okay and sometimes it bounces a little bit, so I generally, because I'm sat down here or stood up in the conservatory here, staying in the warm, as they say. That's why I'm filming this pond at the moment. Just walking the dog today. Fair enough. Went and had a cheeky little pint on the walk round, did you, mate? Nothing wrong with that. Greetings, Fish Farm fam. Hi James, hope you're well. Love your Team U Koi. Yeah, that was a bit of a funny video, to be fair. I just wanted to put it together just for a bit of a laugh, really, because this time of year it's always a little bit slow in the industry. It's always as I class it, as your hardcore hobbyist that gets stuck in all of the time. But it certainly is a little bit slow, when I thought I'd have a little bit of a laugh. But it would be funny if you could buy a fish off Team U. A real live one, that is. Corey Evans waiting for one of the lads to come and pick him up. Fair enough, mate. Laughter is good for the soul. 100% it is. Well needed for a lot of people, to be fair. Koi pit, right, I need to head into work. Catch you later. Cheers, thanks for joining in as well, mate. If any of you can remember as well, it does help out the live if you can just like the video for me, or like the live for me. I know there's only 14 people in the room at the moment, but it really does help out, makes it share to more people. But I do understand it's that time of day where most people's at work at the moment. We're setting new ponds up today, just on a break. Happy days. Is it expensive to feed this pond? Yeah, it can be, depending what I feed. In the summer, for sure. But it's all dependent on what food that you put into the pond, really. I mean, I class it as as my hobby. So the money what I used to spend elsewhere wasting money, now I just waste it on me fish. But I get a lot more enjoyment out of doing this than what I was doing in my past. So that's what it's all about for me. The most expensive thing of it all is buying new fish. Got 6 people that's liked the video, thank you very much. Or like the live. To be fair, sometimes I prefer going on live. I actually like having a chat with people, interacting, having a talk, than what I do sometimes when I'm just making content on my own, because when I make content and film in my own back garden, sometimes it can be a little bit boring. I mean, I always used to work in the butchers, always interacting with people or chatting with people all day long, if that makes sense. And then now I've changed over to doing this as a full-time job. I do find a hell of a lot of my day spent sat down on my ones, editing a film, listening to my own voice over and over again if I got the words wrong, or if I need to edit something out, or I've not said it how I wanted it to come across. Part of the reason why I got such a love for digestive biscuits, I think. Good afternoon, James. Pond's looking well, thank you very much. Koi Heaven UK, what's your plans for the season? Well, I've got a lot of stuff booked in the calendar already, places to go and visit. I have got a bit of a tour coming up with the guys from Mountain Tree, so they're due to come to the country, because they're from China obviously. They're due to come at the end of April, and we're doing a bit of a week tour, going around visiting different people's ponds, showing them around the UK pretty much, of the koi industry, where it's at. But I've got a lot of plans booked in the calendar already, places to go and visit, koi dealers that I haven't been to visit, so I can get that on film. And then throughout the year, just nipping to see people show updates of different kinds of ponds, because in the UK there's a hell of a lot of people's ponds, and you know, they like to show and share with other people in the hobby, because the hobby can be quite a lonely hobby unless you know someone else that's involved in it. So interacting with people on YouTube and getting involved with other people, I think certainly does help, you know, the koi community as such. And I always get messages on my Instagram saying, James, I don't really want to go on social media myself, but you're more than welcome to come and like show my pond or share my pond, and I would really appreciate it. Because a lot of people, I suppose, I can remember when I first started making videos, it is quite difficult when you're behind the camera talking to yourself, or how to start a video to make it watchable. And whenever you start out any social media platform base, the videos are very difficult to get shared unless you've got a good platform base for the videos to be shared on. It is very difficult. It takes a long time to build up your knowledge of little things that you've got to do to get more views on the videos, of how you edit your videos and all of those type of things. And when you're first starting out, you look at the views and you think, oh, I've only got 100 views or 200 views or 1,000 views, and it can put people off of doing it. So I always enjoy going around to people's ponds, because I'm a hobbyist myself, and I just love the idea of seeing other people's ponds, what they've done differently, or something new, or a design, or something that may work better for them on their pond, which it could help someone else out and go, oh, I could do that on my pond to make my pond better. So sharing what other people have done or built or ideas is part of the reason why I like making content, really. Need to get you booked in, mate. Only up the road. 100%, yeah, 100%. Just give us a message on my Instagram and I'll pop up, mate. I think you're Somerset, aren't you? If I've got the right guy. I think you're Somerset. Taunton, I believe. Random life for Mike. Love the videos. Just setting up my first koi pond. Over 7,500 litres. If you ever fancy a carp session, I'm on Salmon Hutch. Happy days. I haven't been Salmon Hutch for years. What pond are you fishing? You fishing the top pond? And I'm not sure, is that Syndicate now or not? I haven't been there for years though, Salmon Hutch. So when they converted it to Syndicate, did they keep the same head of stock in there, or have they renewed any stock? But day ticket on Catch App. Oh, what, so you can be Syndicate or day ticket? It's offering both, is it? Does that not annoy some of the Syndicate boys when you set up for a long session and you get a day angler turn up? Or if a day angler's on and a Syndicate member can't get on the bank? Hi James, if you're ever at Newcastle, love for you to do a visit on my pond. Yeah, what I'm going to do this year is when I'm in a certain location, because of travelling and everyone knows what travelling's like, especially with the extra cost with travelling, because you can end up doing miles and miles in a day. But what my plans are this year, for instance, say that I'm in a certain location, I'm going to put out a post to say that this is where I'm to. If anyone is within like an hour or half an hour drive from where I'm at, that I can try to visit as many people as possible over that weekend or something. Because obviously for a lot of people, as a lot of people know that follow me, obviously I do YouTube full time now, and to make it costable for myself, if I'm travelling say 3 or 4 hour drive to visit somewhere, then do the video and then travel back, I've got to weigh up how much it costs me to get to the place to start with. And if I can like book in like a weekend where I can do like 3 or 4 visits and make 3 or 4 videos in one weekend, then it makes it cost effective. Hardly anyone on there. Most of the time it's 1 or 2 on. Fair enough, mate. Mate, I'm in Tivy. I must say, watching you has encouraged me to sort my own pond out. Well, if you ever need a hand with anything, mate, give us a shout on my Instagram. If you're only in Tivy, that's only 5 minutes over the hills, isn't it, from where I'm to. So if you ever do need a hand with anything, give us a shout. And the Whisperer will come over and give you a hand. But yeah, definitely up for giving it a bash on Salmon Hutch. Do you fish anywhere else as well around the area? Digger Lakes? And how long are you on the bank for, mate? Are you just doing a day ticket or are you overnight? Diggers had the Chinese comment out a few years back. Yeah, I think that one's died now as well. A lot of the fish I heard apparently, I'm not sure if it was last summer or the summer before, but when we had the really high temperature, oxygen levels went down in the ponds, and with the amount of weed that he had in the pond, he lost a hell of a lot of stock. That's when Ben owned it, I think. So on the Snails Lake, I believe it's called, that a lot of fish went from there. I always wanted to catch, there was a common in there called the box common. I always wanted to catch that fish, but that fish died as well. But when you're talking of like it's always different, isn't it, for carp fishing to koi, even though they're still carp, that koi are measured with centimetres, and carp in a fishing lake is measured with pounds and ounces. It's like that Makashi Ogon here just in front of us. If you was to weigh that fish is about 24, 26 pounds. I did think about it myself, because there's a few other koi tubers. One of them, I don't know if anyone follows him, but it's called the Koi Channel. That because he's a carp fisherman himself, that he sold all of his koi and stocked it with mirror carp, commons. I believe most of them's the mirror carp that he's put in there, but he wants to try to grow a 40-pound carp in his pond. And when he was doing it, I did think about it myself. I thought, because I am so interested in carp fishing, I did think about doing it myself. Fish fam, like what you see, make it official, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Yeah, I forget to say that in videos nowadays, which I can remember when I was building the channel up, it's what I used to say quite a bit. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and stuff like that, which I do forget to say now. Yeah, koi is a proper addiction, especially buying them. The worst thing well, the best thing in the hobby is when you go to the koi dealer or a koi dealer beginning of the season, when they've just had their new shipment load of fish come in, and then you're like, oh, I like the look of that one. But there does become limits with this hobby, where once you get enough fish in the pond, sometimes it's best just to say, I've got enough. As the saying goes, less is more. There's something about koi. Well, there's something koi about me. That's it. Always takes me a while to get that one, mate. But this part of the hobby, when they're just relaxing, chilling around, as you can see all of the fish in the pond at the moment, how they're all acting and behaving, swimming, that's when you know that you've got it right. When you start, I mean, occasionally if you see the odd fish have a little bit of a flick, which for people that don't know what that word means, is when the fish sort of like swims gradually and then like darts against the side of the pond wall or something. The reason being is because it's got an irritation. They haven't got hands and fingers like we do, so the only way of them getting rid of that irritation or little tickle or itch is by moving aggressively. But when your fish are doing it on a regular basis, it's generally because it's parasite related. It can be water quality related. It can also be like fish pellets stuck in their gills. But generally it's down to a problem more than anything. Far best setup I've ever seen. Thank you very much. If you were to keep other fish with your koi, what would it be? Well, some people keep sturgeons with their koi. The only reason why I don't is down to treatment purposes. So koi are quite hardy in the way of certain chemicals that you have to use throughout the season for when problems may occur, parasite issues that you can treat using certain treatments, and it doesn't affect the koi as much as what it does with other types of fish like tench, bream, sturgeon. They're not quite as strong as hardy, so the treatments, in effect, you've got to take the fish out to treat the pond, or treat the fish that's in the pond, but then when you put that fish back in the pond, generally that fish will still be holding or carrying parasites, so you're sort of fighting yourself a losing battle. So it's always easier, in my opinion, to keep one type of fish in your pond, unless there is also a difference as well between a koi pond and a koi tank. I call this my koi tank or my koi pond, but it's really a tank. It's a big fish tank in a way. If you're only allowed 3 koi, James, which would you choose? Oh, that is a very difficult question, to be fair. I am a bit of a single colour koi man, to be honest with you, and I think that stems back from my carp fishing sort of roots. It would definitely have to be a Makashi Ogon, which is this here. Secondly, would probably have to be a Chagoi, which is still the same sort of carp related fish. With in a carp it would be a common carp, I suppose, but there's different types of Chagoi, I suppose. So like you've got down here is a Arioki Ginrin Chagoi, so it's got the scales and the shiny scales on it. The Chagoi that's down here, this is a Ginrin Chagoi, but there's also different colours of Chagoi, so it definitely have to be a Chagoi. And then the third would have to be a Kajaku, which the fish feed is just about to go off. So for people that don't know, that's an automated fish feeder just on the side, and because of the water temperatures at the moment, I've only got it on the lowest setting possible, and it's only pushing out 2 lots of food a day. Reason behind it is just because I want to start the season off. Water temperature has been holding over 10 degrees for the past sort of 3 or 4 weeks now in this pond. Slowly creeping up. Yesterday it actually got to 14 degrees. It is back down at 12 degrees at the moment. But it's all to do with building up your beneficial bacteria in your filters. So it's probably only pushing out about 20 or 30 pellets at a time, twice a day, which is nowhere near enough for these fish to get full up. But what it is enough just to start off the cycle of not over stimulating the water quality by putting in too much at once, but slowly building up the beneficial bacteria in the filters, so then I can start adding more and more food to the system as the water temperature increases without affecting the water quality, keeping everything as stable as possible, which if the fish are happy and they don't see sudden changes in the water quality, it makes things so much easier. The koi mum, how are you doing? Hi James, not even a hole in the garden yet, but not far away. What top tips would you give for building a grow-on pond 3 times 1.5. Deep block and box weld. I would definitely recommend bottom drain. Put a bottom drain in. There's a lot of people that when you start in the hobby, they always think or worried about putting a bottom drain in because they think they're putting a hole in the liner which will leak the water. But having any system on a gravity feed system, I believe, is probably one of the best systems that you can have. It's a bit like a bath, really. You imagine pulling the plug hole on the bath, all of the dirty water runs down the bath or the sink. It's just the right way to go, really. And if you run your system on gravity, the main reason of running a gravity system, in my opinion, is that all of the waste that the fish produce, whether that be leaves that go into the pond or fish poo or debris or anything into the pond, it goes through the filtration system on or as a solid piece. So it doesn't get chewed up by a pump to start with before it enters your filtration system, leading forward to be there's less fines in the pond, all of these bits that can get chewed up by a pump. Obviously you imagine it being put into a blender as a solid piece without being turned on. It's a lot easier to clean out. As soon as you turn it on and that blender on and you chop it all up, it's a little bit harder to clean out than what it is if it goes through as a solid piece, if that makes sense. So yeah, definitely recommend for building any pond, just do it that way. The Koi Perspective, how you doing, brother? I've still got to give you a ring as well. I might give you a ring at the end of this live if I remember. I get busy, get distracted, and then I forget things. Love from Indonesia. That's a fair old way to go, isn't it? Fish Fam, join as a channel member for exclusive benefits and help support the channel. Thank you very much, brother, for saying things like that. I forget to say things like that as well. The Chiba's growing, ain't it? Yeah, it certainly is. It's always surprising as well, after a long winter, when you haven't really added any extra food, or to be fair, a long time, no food whatsoever, and you think, what are they actually feeding on? But then they're grazing all of the time, aren't they? On the side of the pond wall, from when it went in to what it is now. It's certainly getting some body on it. It's going to be a big fish, that fish is. And if I did decide to have a growing pond, which for anyone that don't know, there's a difference of keeping koi and enjoying them and enjoying the hobby to growing your fish. So building a pond for growing a fish is completely different of building a pond to enjoy your fish. In an ideal world, if I just wanted to grow them, which I do at the end of the day, every koi keeper gets enjoyment out of the growth rates of what they've achieved at the end of each season. But in an ideal world now, I would certainly build a pond differently. Keep everything the same filtration wise, keep the pond the same filtration wise, but basically build it so it's indoors, so everything's covered. You can regulate temperature, you can heat temperature easier. And anyone that wants to grow a fish, temperature is the most important factor of getting those temperatures up so you can get your feeding regime up. And for a lot of us, even though I do have an air source heat pump, just how expensive they are to run, without having the right setup to make them run cost effectively, by having it all enclosed or putting a cover over your pond. For a lot of us, the season of getting the temperature, what you need to grow a fish, we haven't got a big open bookmark in the year to do that. you're talking 2 or 3 months before the water, and that's if we have a good summer, before the water temperature starts chilling back down again. But yeah, they're all super active at the moment. And it is still February, but it is really warm. Like down here in Devon, it's crazy the temperatures, what the temperatures. Makashi Ogon though, the body on that's just massive. And for people that like, it's always deceiving with a video, and a lot of other people that make content would know this by using a camera or footage from a camera. It's always deceiving the size of the fish when you actually take them out. I mean, for people that saw my video of when I took out the smaller fish that's in there, which is the Achiba, the smaller Kajaku, which is down there, you saw them fish measured at 45 cm. And when you compare them to, they're bigger than that now obviously, they're pushing the over 50s easy now. But when I took them out, when was it? August time last year? Could have been a bit later. But when you compare the size of what you saw them to like some of these, this guy's like 90 cm, and it doesn't show that on camera, but it's the same when you look at the depth of the pond as well. Like the depth of that pond's 5'2", which you wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at the picture or a video. And for how clear the water is, some of the fish like that you're seeing, they look like they're floating on top of the pond, but they're probably 2 foot down, some of those fish. Like this one, when it comes up, you see it surface, but the chag's got, the Ginrin chag there, that's got really big and chunky as well. The end of last season, that started putting on some serious body. Really nice shape. And it just shows what you can achieve using, like, I'm on the NT Labs probiotic. And I have fed them with different types of food. I have fed them with the Sakai last year, and I have fed them with the Dainichi, the FD build up. I give them a bit of a mixed diet. I don't never keep my fish on the same food all of the time. I always look at, as sad as it sounds, I always look at koi food and it's the same as, like, if you got home from work every day and had to eat the same food every single day for the rest of your life, you'd have a pretty boring life. So I do like to mix it up for them, give them a few treats throughout the year when the water temperature's right. Maybe that's a few prawns, mussels, you know, even a bit of squid. Sometimes when I get home from leftover fishing, I've got some maggots left, I wash the maggots off with the sawdust and I add the maggots to the pond, mealworms. I do give them fruit as well, which is orange, watermelon. And for people that never had any, or never done any experience of giving their fish any watermelon, the easiest way to get your fish to start eating watermelon is cut a whole slice, take a tiny little bit out of the center of the watermelon, add a few koi pellets into the center of the watermelon because the watermelon will float. And as the fish come up for the pellets, because they know what that is, but they don't know what the watermelon is, they will grab hold of a little bit of melon or watermelon. Once they get the taste for it and think, cool, that was nice, I'm having some more of that, the next time you chuck that in, they will just absolutely smash it and demolish it. But it is all seasonal. Certain times of the year where you can feed different types of food. And obviously at the moment with water temperatures so cold, I know that it's pretty safe to feed the NT Labs Koi probiotic, prebiotic in small doses without hammering in too much at once. Philip Stevens said hi, how you doing mate? Aqua Escapes, big koi, so cute, thank you very much. They're beautiful and happy, they certainly are. They're what you call very well looked after. But if there is anyone new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do enjoy going live and having a bit of a chat with people now. Breaks up the day a little bit, especially when you're a content creator and you find yourself sat on the computer most days by yourself, listening to your own voice. Sometimes it is nice to have a bit of a social and a bit of a chat and just a bit of yibbity yabbada, as I say. One thing that always shocks me though, or surprises me the most, is when I do come on live and I'm on for what I think is 5 or 10 minutes, you can soon rack up the time and it's like I've been on now for 41 minutes and I didn't even realise that. So thank you everyone that does come in and say hello and has a bit of a chat, bit of a koi talk. It is always very much appreciated. Whereabouts in the southwest you live? I see you go to the same shops as I do. So I'm from Devon, a little town called Clumpton. I would like to go over and show you the other fish as well for the other pond. Just bear with me a second, just while I move the camera. I can't take you all the way outside because my internet will go, but for people that are new and they've never seen before, we've also got the same sort of pond as what this one is. So this is another angle of the garden. But we've got it over here as well. I need to do a bit of painting as well over the winter where the water's sort of been trickling off of these. Running down there, it's got a bit of green algae on it. But we have got koi over there as well. But if I go out in the garden, it will start distorting the Wi-Fi connection. But there's some lovely little fish over there. Well, I say little, most of them's 40 cm now, as they're classed as the grow-ons. Might be able to go out. If the signal does go, then I do apologise, but I'm trying my best. And I certainly need to clean off that pond window as well. Yeah, they're all doing all right in there at the moment. There's still a little bit of an issue with this fish. I'm not really sure what's going on. That's the oldest fish that I've got. It's got to be 15-year-old, that fish, but I'm not really sure what's going on. Still a little bit mucusy on the top, but it's still eating and doing its bit. I'm not sure if it's swim bladder related, because look at that reaction then. That's strange. As soon as it has food. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that fish. And then I spooked them. But these are certainly a lot more chilled out and happier over here. I'll take you back inside just because of the wind noise. And we've also got a couple little small koi that I'm planning to move outside, and then the goldfish that I've got in the fish tank in the front room are going to be coming into here. And then the fish tank, the plans with the fish tank is that I want to start up the tropical again. So I am thinking about giving it a bit of escape, setting up the tropical, because I do miss running the tropical setup. But it's all stuff that I need to do. All in time. Membership, super stickers, super chats, they are fun and help support the channel. They certainly do. Not had a super chat for a while. Used to be quite fun. I used to go out and do the super chats in the garden, so anyone that sent a super chat in used to enter them into a competition and win a prize. But I haven't done that for a while. Super chat. Yeah, so all the super chat means, if you don't know what that is, down in the comment section where you're writing your comment, there's a little dollar symbol. If you press that button, then basically what it is there for YouTube content creators like myself, for people that want to help support the channel, and I'm not asking anyone to do it, basically the platform's in place for people just to help support the channel. So if you enjoyed videos or enjoyed the live and you want to help support the channel to make more content, it's a platform YouTube put in place for subscribers or viewers to click that button and basically donate their own money towards the content creator as such. But YouTube are very crafty with what they do with that. So say that you donate £1, YouTube actually take 48% of that money before they give it to the content creator. But it all helps out all content creators if people do decide to put in a super chat. And on bigger platforms or bigger channels, when there's a lot of people in the room, some people do it to get recognised. So if you add a super chat to a channel that's got, say, 1,000 people watching it, for instance, your YouTube name comes up highlighted. Is it the same as buying James a coffee to say thanks for the videos? Yeah, pretty much exactly the same as that. I haven't set that up on my channel either, but it's the same as that really. But the difference with if you set up buy a coffee, or buy me a coffee I think it's called, that they only take 5%. And it's the same, I don't know if anyone else follows like TikTok or anything like that, but where people do battles and they send, like for people that follow TikTok, where they go live battles against other people and they send them gifts, it's the same thing. It costs the viewer the money to send to the creator. But there is a lot of people out there that has set up buying a coffee or buy me a coffee, but I just leave what's in place with the YouTube platform, to be fair. And if people do want to donate to it, then it's always very much appreciated. But the main reason for it on YouTube is that for people that do send in a super chat, your name basically gets highlighted. So it'll come up on the live that your name's, like, it comes up, depending on what you send, it will stay on the screen for a certain amount of time. So if you're looking to gain extra subscribers, or for a lot of people viewing, if say someone sends 99p, for instance, it comes up on the screen. Well, someone else that's viewing is always interested to think, like, let's say for instance they've got a koi channel and they're watching someone else's channel, that if you click on their name you go and get to see their videos or see their channel. So it's a way of helping each other out as well, really. And it's the same as writing a comment as well, because there's always people that view the video or view the live, and there's always a lot of people that sit there as a silent watcher and they don't comment or say anything. But for the people that's writing a comment, your name obviously comes up onto the channel, and then you get to recognise their name. A bit like Jigs just popped up on mine now. Jigs has been a good friend of mine for the YouTube channel. He actually, I actually made him on the channel one of me, forget what the word's called now, but he has the chance to delete and read comments for me if something's inappropriate, because he's always been very good for me. But yeah, how you doing, Jigs, mate? Hope you're doing well. I did see a video pop up on mine the other day of you went out and done a video of what you do in the winter when your pond's frozen, or how to heat your pond, and it was all completely iced up, and you say I do absolutely nothing. Moderators, that's what it's called. I knew I was looking for a word and I couldn't find it. Happy days. We'll have to catch up again soon as well. It's been a long time. Oh, thank you very much, Lauren. She donated a £2. Thank you ever so much. But as you can see there with the super chat, it's come up on the screen and the name's in full blown view then, so I can love heart it and it stays on the screen. Just showing how it works. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And then you can see you can get people that like it as well. So we got 20 people in the room with the super chat on the screen. See if we can get as many likes on that £2 as possible. Thank you very much, Jigs. We always got to show a bit of love and support to every content creator out there. What's the plans for upcoming videos then, James? So I've done a few videos this week that I need to finish editing. I've got a few that's due to come out. But at the moment, because the season's still a bit slow, visiting other people's ponds, a lot of people want to wait until their pond's at their best or at its best, which I completely understand because, you know, when the weather warms up and, you know, if you've got plants or if you've got growth like trees and stuff like that in your garden, it always looks nicer, doesn't it, in this, like when your pond's at its best. And if you want to show something, you want to show it at its best. So visiting people at the moment is still a little bit under the radar, but I have got a load of plans or things due in the pipeline with different koi dealers that I speak to on a regular basis. We've got all the guys from Mountain Tree coming over from China, which we're doing like a week and a half tour with them, April time. I'll be doing that with Selective Koi Sales. I've also got a few things booked in with Southwest Koi that we're planning to do a few events, a few evenings where throughout the week, especially March, April and May, like one night a month where we're hosting like a koi evening sort of throughout the week instead of being on a weekend. So Koi Perspective, come to Yorkshire. I certainly will, mate, I certainly will. Hope to visit you this year. But you probably know yourself as well, especially running it as a business side of things now. When you do a lot of travelling, you got to weigh up when you're going somewhere, like what you're going to do when you go to make it cost effective. I would love one, please. Alright, thank you. Yes, please, darling. Barbecue food hotel I can help with. Happy days. I'm not too worried about a hotel, to be fair with you. I'm a carp fisherman, so I've got a bed chair. Got a fishing chair. I can set my bivvy up and stay in the garden. But yeah, you know what I mean is you got to weigh up what you're going to do when you go to certain places, haven't you? What content that you can make. Obviously, without a doubt, it's nice just to come up and visit people and just have a chat and have a bit of yibbity yabbada, which I also very much enjoy doing as well. But from business side of things, well, the koi mum, thank you ever so much. Have a coffee tea on me. Very much appreciated. Let's give that one a like. Let's see if we can get as many likes as we can on the koi mum. Thank you very much for that. And I certainly will. Day 1, pork pie talk. Day 2, dealer talk. Yeah, sounds good to me, mate. You doing the Koi Heaven mud pond this year? Hopefully. He has asked me if I could come up and help him out or get stuck in with that again. But that last time, that was 5.5 hour drive for me to get there each way, so Southerners can't make proper pork pies. I can make a proper pork pie though. I was a butcher for 20 years. So it's got to be good, mate, you know what I'm saying? For me to give it a rating, we'll do a live little rating in a video just for a bit of banter. I must say, I used to make a banging pork pie when I worked in the butchers. And I do love a pork pie. No good if it has no jelly. Exactly that. Do a podcast just talking about pork pies. People would love it. Yeah. Back in my day, we used to squirt gelatine into the pork pie. What? You got no gelatine in your pork pie? You must be having a laugh, ain't you? Just imagine the comments in the comment section. What's the word coming to? I thought it was a koi channel, not a pork pie channel. But I am one for a pasty. To be fair, I'm a bit of a pasty man myself. The only thing I struggle with nowadays, I suppose that's down to age-related things, really. I'm nearly 40 years of age, which has soon crept up. I do struggle with the indigestion a little bit. So when I have a pasty, and it's probably the years of abuse of me having the amount of pasties I used to have every day at the butcher's, anything that was left over at the end of the day or in the morning when you first come out of the oven and you're like, oh, I might have one of them for breakfast. I certainly do struggle now, and I do know after I've had a pasty, if I don't have any Rennies straight after I've eaten one, I do suffer a little bit. But that's just life. But one thing's for sure, I still do have a pork pie now and then. Mine won't touch fruit, but turn into sharks with a crab stick. Yeah, they do like a crab stick in the pond. But they don't call them crab sticks anymore, do they? They're more called, what are they called now? Seafood sticks, aren't they? There's not actually any crab in them. Tattoo man. Hi James, how you doing, brother? I bet the koi would eat a pork pie. Yeah, that would be quite funny actually. I think they would, to be fair. I did catch a, when I was carp fishing, was it end of last year, I was with me boy, and we was float fishing with bread on the top, dog biscuits, and we started having, because we was catching loads, we started having a little bit of a play around and catching, oh look, got a lovely cup of tea delivered. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Look at that, look. Beautiful, Jimmy.
Thank you so much for your property. They start doing it.
Feeding the spokes?
Yeah.
If you don't mind doing that, it'd be lovely. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we was having a competition with what we could catch from the top of the pond, and I actually put a Malteser on the on the end of my rig, and I caught a carp on a Malteser. James, I have 2 large stone koi carp in my garden. I'm looking to get rid of. Would you be interested in them? To be fair, mate, thank you very much for the offer, but I'm a little bit overstocked myself, so I can't, I'm afraid. But thank you very much for the offer. Welcome back to the Koi Perspective. This year, I'm feeding my fish exclusively on Dainichi pork pies. Yeah, that would cost a bit at the end of the week, wouldn't it? Especially if you sat by the pond and ate half the pack before you decided to feed the fish. That would be brilliant. Just imagine that. The wife comes out. What are you doing out there now, James? You're supposed to be feeding the fish, not eating yourself. I'd think I'd be as fat as my crashy boy. Yeah, I already am as fat as me chagoy. That fish I call Chunk. Even though Mrs. Whisperer or the wife calls it Boop or Bop or something, because it comes up and does everything, but I call that fish Chunk. Would make a funny video though. Yeah, what's everyone else's plans anyway? Many people up to much this year? Any koi shows that people are looking to attend this year? My Tabasaba would demolish a few. I don't think they get any wider. Brilliant. All of the shows, I hope. Looking forward to the National. Yeah, I do like the National. The Koi Mum. Wobbly wobblies. But yeah, thank you both very much for the super chats. I very much appreciate that. The odd pellet I keep chucking into these koi, I keep knocking on the window frame right here. And I think Mrs. Whisperer might come home to a few pellets on the floor, which is bounced on the conservatory floor somewhere. But yeah, I do like the National myself. Especially the past 2 years where I've been, the weather's been absolutely fantastic. hopefully we'll see you at the show if you don't get to pop round. Yeah, hopefully I will pop round if you give us a message on my Instagram page, and yeah, I'll come up. I don't know where that comment come up that I had to, it only says blazing hot, struggling to find shade. That comment come up that I had to read that comment before it got viewed for some reason. I don't really know why. It's my first year going to the shows. Which 3 would you recommend? Well, I'd definitely say the National. The Coy Perspective could probably help out with that as well, because I think he's attended a few more shows than me. I myself, I like the National, I like the All England. But they're all very similar. I mean, it depends if you're going to see or visit the show to see the Coy, in the way of which is won different types of awards, or if you're going to the show to see like dealers to buy fish or get a bargain on something, because that is one good thing with the show, is that if you are looking for a piece of equipment or something that you might need, what you find at the shows, what I've found myself, is that because all of the Coy dealers are there, they're all in one place, they're sort of all competing against each other. So you get really good deals on fish, you get really good deals on dry goods as well. Sometimes certain dealers will buy more fish food to sell it at a cheaper rate. Coy Perspective, got to run, nice to speak to you. Yeah, and I will give you a ring, mate, whether that be later on this evening or tomorrow, mate. I'll give you a ring and I will catch up. And I do apologise that I haven't got hold of you as such, but we certainly will catch up for sure. But the deals that you can get when you go to the shows on some of these fish are absolutely insane, especially on the last day. But the only downside, and this is only my opinion, the only downside about buying a fish from a show is that sometimes the fish can be like stressed out a little bit time you get it back home into your pond. Obviously, a couple of reasons: down to transport by taking the fish to the show originally, then being at the show with thousands of people walking around the tents or the vats, looking in over, the net going in, getting certain fish out all day long. And I mean, I've worked and helped out on some of the stands at shows before, and I've seen and witnessed how many times the net goes into the pond with the same fish that people's looked at. There was one fish, for instance, at the National that everyone wanted to look at a closer detail. So you put it into a blue measuring tub, and the fish itself, what I'm talking about, got looked at about 20 times before it actually got sold. And sometimes it's down to the price of the fish originally, and sometimes people just want to have a look. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of stress factor when you do buy a fish from a show, time you get it home. And it's not to say not to buy a fish from a show, because there's thousands of people out there that do. But sometimes you can expect when you get that fish home that you put it into your pond, that sometimes you can expect an issue or a problem that may occur. And it's only down to stress levels, really. And that's, I don't think anyone else can argue with me that what I've said there is not true, because it is stressful for the fish. And stress is the main cause for most people's problems in a pond originally. James collects his koi ornaments at the shows. I certainly do. It's always easier to buy a plastic koi and take it home, knowing that you're not going to get no parasites. And these are a couple that we've bought over the years. It's like always nice to have a new koi in it when you go to a show, and if you're buying one of these, you can put them on display. Some people sit them around the pond. I like them inside, but it's always nice to buy something when you've been, and it helps out the dealer as well, doesn't it? I mean, if you're spending your money on something, it helps that dealer go to start with. I mean, just the cost of like having a tent at the National, for a dealer point of view, is crazy amounts of money, depending on the size of your tent that you have. But there's always, at these koi shows as well, there's always little koi things, a little bit of dust on that, like where people make their own sort of like artwork and stuff, little tea coasters. There's loads of little gadgets and gizmos at these koi shows, key rings and stuff like that. Loads of stuff koi related. And there's some stuff like obviously this artwork I've made myself, but stuff like this, for instance, for Art Deco, there's loads of different people out there nowadays that make it, and at the koi shows is where you get the opportunity to see all of this different stuff. And if I go this year, I'll get my ass in gear and I'll get a load of these Koi Whisperer mugs done up. Limited edition ones with the absolute hammer on the back. With the thank your mother for the rabbits. I usually buy nets and bows. Yeah, 100%, stuff like that, especially. It's a great time of year because when you do that, because if all of the koi dealers have got the same, because a lot of them buy from the same place, so if you use a wholesaler, most dealers will buy from the same wholesaler, so they're all paying the same sort of price. But when they go to the show, instead of them making a bigger markup on it like they would if it was in the shop, they try to compete with the guy that's up the road that's selling his measuring bowl, for instance, for £40. Well, they'll sell it for £38. Or someone else will sell it for £37. So always good to have a look around the show before you buy anything to start with. Some deals on koi food usually never go with an empty purse. 100%. Afternoon fishing. What's that? Bandit fishing. Hello, mate. But it is lovely weather at the moment. I mean, it's a bit overcast here today, but air temperature, especially for February, this time of year is amazing. I'm just hoping we don't get a cold spell. Because I have noticed on the acer trees and stuff like that, you get the little bit of, what's the word, when they start blooming or coming out, the little bud on the end. where they getting ready to leaf again. I have noticed a couple of them started to pop out, and I'm hoping we don't get a frost, because else they could die back. Twenty to 4 already. It's crazy, isn't it, how quick the day goes on. I best start thinking about prepping me cottage pie in a minute. Getting tea ready. I think I'd better do that anyway, thinking about it. It's 20 to 4. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has come in, had a bit of banter, bit of a laugh. Thank you very much for the super chats that come in as well. Very much appreciate that. And yeah. Hope everyone has a lovely rest of their day. And if we don't see you in a week, we'll see you through a window. Koi Whisperer, over and out. I might come on live tomorrow, because I very much enjoyed this live here this afternoon. So if I get me editing finished tomorrow and the video uploaded ready for tomorrow night, if I got a spare 5 minutes, I'll come back on live tomorrow and say hello to everyone again. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching again, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow, or when my next video drops. See you all soon.